Good morning, everybody. 8:10 a.m., December 20th. What a market we have here, folks. What a market. Now, if I didn't lose everybody who usually listens to me, um, unfortunately, last Sunday I had like what's called a TIA. It's like a mini stroke without the permanent damage. Then I was in the hospital and had to get a heart catheterization, and luckily, nothing's wrong with my heart. I went into AFib. They were going to shock my heart, and luckily, I got out of AFib on my own, and I was discharged. So wild, wild week, and last weekend for me. But thank God I'm healthy. I just have now, but I got to probably be on blood thinners for the rest of my life because of AFib. But I feel good, and I'm back. All right, now I'm only back for a day because then I go on vacation. And the market shouldn't be great trading next week anyway. But what do we have today, right? Yesterday, we had that large sell off because of FOMC, and then we kind of were like unchanged yesterday. In futures, you went down a little lower, but in like the SPY and stuff like that, pretty much unchanged. But this morning, with the threat of a government shutdown, the market moved lower and we're gapping lower. So that's what's going on this morning, basically. All right. So Bitcoin also is taking a big hit. Um, so that's what's going on. Let's get right into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in the markets along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure in these markets. All right? And I try to impart this knowledge onto you. All the levels I usually use, or all the levels I use, always get reactions from the market, or else I wouldn't use them. Okay? So every day I try to do this at 8:10 a.m. and hopefully you guys can join me. Have a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever you want, and subscribe and set an alert. Okay? I'm over 200 and something subscribers. Hope to get to 300 next. Okay? Now, every day I do this, and I give you the lowdown on what's going on in the market news, economic calendar, leaders and laggards, recap yesterday, previous day's session, and then we get into long and trade short scenarios later on at around 8:30 a.m. Usually I do give long and short trade scenarios, and once the market opens, that's new data, right? And I have to analyze that. And then if I feel like it's worthy of putting risk on, right? If I feel like it's worthy to put risk on, I make a video. And I post them to my YouTube shorts. Also post them to my X at Gonzo719. Okay. Also, you can follow me on TikTok. That's Gonzo719Trader. Hopefully, you find those videos educational and leave a comment or a question, and I'll get back to you. All right. I did post one right before the weekend last week was the one I owed you guys, and then obviously on Sunday I had that episode. So, and hopefully you enjoy my content and drop and smash that like button. All right. So now let's see what's moving markets. So leader is gold this morning, up 0.41, followed by the dollar, up 0.28. 30-year bonds being bought slightly, up 0.16. Now we have core PCE coming at 8:30. Silver's down 0.36, crude's down 0.39, Dow's down 0.49, 10-year yield down today 0.54, ES down 0.86, the Russell's down 1.19, Nasdaq's getting kind of smashed this morning, down 1.36, Bitcoin's down 2.35, under 100K, down to 94,240, 94,240. Okay, Ether down 4.17%. The VIX, interesting. I'm seeing that right. Down 8.51%. That's kind of interesting. It's down, and we're gapping down. Um, Interesting. Um, that's your futures. Now let's move over to Max 7 and see who's leading the pack here. Now Eli Lilly um, is up 6.4%. We'll get into why later. Boeing's up 0.25. Then all you have is laggards. We'll start with one percenters. Microsoft's down 1%. Netflix down 1.02. Meta's down 1.49. Google down 1.72. Broadcom down 1.75. AMD's down 1.83. Nvidia down 2.33. Amazon's down 2.50. Tesla had some negative news in coming out of Europe, down 4.41%, and Coinbase down 5.41. That's your Max 7. Now going on to the top sector stocks. UPS. FedEx had good earnings, so UPS is in sympathy, up 0.29. That is it. Now we'll get to the laggards here. You have Walmart down 0.71, Disney down 0.78, Qualcomm down 0.79, Uber down 1.18, Salesforce down 1.26, and Snowflake down 3.02%. Let's check out the swing trade list and see who's leading the pack here. Viking Therapeutics is up 11.11%, followed by FedEx that had good earnings, up 7.66. Now Amgen's up 3.56. Occidental Petroleum, I saw that Warren Buffett added more Occidental Petroleum to his portfolio. Gold's up 0.30, TLT's up 0.28. Now that's all you got for leaders here. If we go to the laggards, we have Robinhood down 6.61%. Nike's down. I'm not sure if they reported earnings. We'll get into that too. Down 6.24%. SoundHound down 5.4%. MicroStrategy down 5.35%. Mara down 4.76%. SoFi down 4.59%. Riot down 4.47%. Unity Software down 4.31%. There's a lot. I'll just finish with the 3%ers. Supermicro Computers down 4%. ON down 3.90%. Roblox down 3.72%. AI down 3.53%. Donald Trump stock down 3.50%. Shopify down 3.10%. And HIMS down 3.07%. Palantir down 3.06%. And ARC down 3.03%. Those are your laggards there. Now, moving on to the sectors. See what's really moving this market this morning. Healthcare is up 5.59 with the help of Eli Lilly. Okay, healthcare with the help of Eli Lilly. All right. Staples is flat. So let's just get into the big laggards here. Communications down 0.95, technology down 1.08, semiconductors down 1.67, and discretionary, which are Amazon and your Tesla, down 1.73. So the heavyweights are negative this morning. All right, the heavyweights are negative. All right, now let's move over to the economic calendar. We got that core PCE coming out. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's go to the 1 star so we can see core PCE. All right, so core PCE year over year, expecting 2.9. We're expecting a rise in core PCE, up 0.1. All right, now the headline number, expected 2.5. Last was 2.3. We're expecting a 0.2 rise. Okay, now we also have Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. That usually moves markets. Okay, so let's just see the sentiment is 74 expected to go up from the previous 71.8. That is your economic calendar. Now if we get into some news, let's get into some news here. All right, so FedEx stock soared 6.7% after the delivery giant reported better than expected earnings in the fiscal second quarter, while also announcing that it's planning on spinning off its freight business. Nike stock slumped 7.4% after the sportswear retailer flagged severe severe issues in its guidance despite second quarter results topping expectations. Wow. Novo Nordisk stock plunged 18% after the drug maker said its experimental next generation obesity drug, Cograsema, helped patients cut their weight by 22.7% in a late stage trial below 25% had expected. Eli Lilly stock rose 5.5 with the drug maker's gains reflecting growing confidence in its competing obesity treatments. Tesla stock fell 5% when the EV manufacturer having a tough time in Europe, registering a 40.9 decrease in registrations in the European Union in November compared to the same month last year. Trump stock fell 5.5 after the SEC filing showed that President-elect Donald Trump this week transferred his entire stake in the social media company into a revocable trust of which he is sole beneficiary. MicroStrategy stocks fell 7.6 and Coinbase dropped 6.6 as these cryptocurrency linked stocks are impacted by a sharp sell-off in Bitcoin, the world's most popular digital currency. All right, now Occidental Petroleum stock rose 2% after Berkshire Hathaway, led by renowned investor Warren Buffett, significantly increased his stake in the energy company, acquiring a substantial number of shares totaling 409 million. That is news there. Now, more news. Check it out. Let's see here. Starbucks workers' unions plan to strike in 3 U.S. cities ahead of Christmas rush. All right, now we're going to get into some stuff if I didn't mention it before, and just see what's important here. Now, it says NVIDIA Corp. The European Commission said it has approved unconditionally NVIDIA's 700 million bid for Run AI. The UE's probe into the deal focused on practices that could strengthen NVIDIA's control over GPUs, sought after chips that divide and process computer tasks. Okay. Walmart, the retailer, said it's likely to miss its 2025 and 2030 targets for reduced planet warming emissions due to challenges related to energy policy, infrastructure, and availability of cost effective low carbon technologies. Okay. All right, that's all I'm going to talk about here. We can get into upgrades, downgrades. Let's look at those together. It is December 20th. Let's look at upgrades. Affirm upgraded. BlackBerry upgraded. Let's see here. DoorDash upgraded from a hold to a buy. FedEx upgraded from a hold to a buy. Let's see here. All right. Now let's go to downgrades. Downgrades. What do we got here? Lennar downgraded from a buy to a neutral. Merck downgraded from outperform the market perform. Nike downgraded from outperform the market perform. Oracle downgraded from neutral to a sell. Okay. There we go there. And initiations. Let's get over those. All right. Initiation coverage. Let's go into someone's here. Reddit initiated a buy. What else here? S&P Global initiated a buy. Viva Systems overweight. And Valvoline initiated a hold. All right, moving on to price target changes, and we will start with target raises. Okay, target raise Palantir. That's a weird target raise at $8. I mean, that's $74 right now. It's weird. CarMax target raised. BlackBerry. Now we get into target lowered. Nike target lowered. All right, that's about all for that. If there's anything in the juice here, let's see. The only thing I see here is Fed Daily. My projection is it will take many fewer rate cuts next year than we had thought. That's what's the hot news from a Fed. Let's move on here. We can get right into daily charts because we got about 6 minutes to this core PCE comes out. All right, let's do that. And just see what we have going on here. Okay, so let's look at this SPY, right? Now we were gapping down, so this trend line was breached, so I can get rid of this. 50-day moving average was also, we closed below the 50-day moving average, right? Now, we currently are at 579.30. Jeez, we're all the way down here. Okay, all the way down here. This was a gap, right? This gap right here. We're eating into that gap. Okay, that's where we're at right now. 579. What did I say? 579.40. Right around here. Okay, so very interesting. Trying to see the 100-day moving averages all the way down here. So we don't have moving averages in the way, but you kind of have this level here, 576.54, and you have support right around here at like 578. So 578 support possibly could hold the market. Maybe we gap fill here to 576.75. Don't know. It's pretty nuts. These markets, right? Supposed to be very seasonally bullish. Now let's look at futures and see what this is looking like. Okay, so let's zoom out. Okay, so in futures, right? So this is the live look. In futures, we're hitting the 100-day moving average right here. Way under the 50, hitting the 100, right? You look to the left. What does that say? 58.18. Interesting. Okay, so we popped off there. So support would be right around here, 57.34. I'll get into some important levels later on. Okay, so that's what the futures looks like. Pretty nasty drop here. 61.11 all the way down to 58.18 right now. Pretty crazy. Actually, I'm sorry. Scratch this. This is not the correct chart because I've been out. Let's go to the next chart. This is, don't forget about that, what I just said. All right, we're going to go to the next chart. Just give me a sec here. I'm going to update this. This should look different as soon as I do it. There we go. That's the correct levels. All right, I'm going to do that for the NASDAQ as well, just so we're on the right page here. Remember, I was out, so I'm just updating those. All right, let's go back to the ES. Okay, important levels here. Okay, so support will be around 57.96. Here's the 100-day moving average. Okay, so that's what to look out for. Now there is a 58.33 composite large volume, high volume node here that we'll get into when I get farther into it. Okay, so let's look at the Qs. The Qs hit that uptrend line, right to it yesterday. This is the previous month's highs, right? Kind of breached the previous day's lows a little bit. All right, so we're at 507, call it 80 right now, 507.80. We are right here, basically right by the 50-day moving average. Okay, right by the 50-day moving average. So a couple levels we'll talk about later. Let's look at the live look of futures now with the correct levels. 50-day moving average right here, hitting it in futures. Okay, you have support right in here around 210.22. So the low to this morning was 21.006 right here. So got bought up a little bit and got the 50-day moving average right here. Okay, you can see a lot of consolidation here to the left. Okay, so we just have to see what happens today. Now core PCE is dropping in 30 seconds. We can switch right over to this chart right here. We'll make this an hourly chart and we'll just check it out if it really moves markets or not. Got about 20 seconds. Okay, and then we'll check out triple headed monster because that might change. Now I don't know how much this will change stuff just because we dropped so far, with this government shutdown. Let's just see though. All right, numbers are out. They're rolling in now. Let's just see. Okay. All right. So core PCE is out. So let's look at those numbers together. Okay, so core PCE year over year, expected 2.9, got 2.8, so it didn't rise. It's the same as last time, right? Now the headline, right? The headline number, we expected 2.5, we got 2.4. It's up zero point 0.1. So yeah, interesting, right? Didn't move core PCE headline. Core PCE didn't move it from last time, and we went up zero point 0.1 on the headline number. So that's your news this morning. All right. The market is, like I said, we're gapped down so far, and it's not really doing much here. I think those numbers are going to be a nothing burger, even though you're getting a little buying here, but that's about it. Okay. I'm going to go back to the daily chart. I don't, now the market is buying this up, right? We're definitely gapping down after a large sell off. So we'll have to see what happens here. I don't think this is going to be an all out crazy bull run now, but you never know with this market, okay? So you're getting a nice wick here now in futures. All the way the low was 58.66. So expect volatility today, okay? Those ranges were really nice yesterday. All right, let's go over to that triple headed monster and see how this is shaping up. 10-year yield. So the 10-year yield is getting a little selling. Now, the one thing that really I noticed was we crushed through this support, I mean, this resistance, that 4.47 yield. Now we are selling a little bit today. Okay, so this bond market is really interesting, right? Really interesting with the triple headed monster. Let's look at the dollar. So the 10-year yield has been rising. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar is also starting to pull back. I don't know if this is accurate because let me see. We closed up here, and it's telling me in my other thing, it's telling me that's weird. It closed. It's interesting. The dollar says it closed here yesterday, and we're down here, and it's still telling me it's up. Interesting how that's showing that. But that's the dollar, right? Dollar's kind of on a tear. All right. So now we look at our fear gauge. Interesting. I didn't think I would see this for the end of the year. Yeah, we're at 2506. Okay, 2506. I think that's wrong too. The VIX is down 9.27%. That doesn't make any sense. We closed here and we're here. It's I don't know. That's an error. In my in TOS, that's an error. Down 9.27%. It's not. Closed here and it's up. Okay, so there's fear back in these markets. It's pretty crazy. We were just at that. We were just in here, like in the 13s. So that big spike up, and now we're holding it. So very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Let's go over to the main event. All right. Not sure who's with me today because obviously I've been out all week. Even if there's one person, thank you for watching. I'm not sure. I'm just even checking it right now. Looks like one view, and I appreciate that person, whoever that was. But we'll get back into it. Okay. I'm just happy I'm here. Okay, so let's get over and do the market profile, volume profile. We're getting a little bounce here in the markets. Okay. This is our field of play today. Okay, so we made a large move from ultimate balance up there. So want to make sure I have everything in view. Okay, big move up there from 61.30 about. Okay, so let's get my marker out. All right, so let's check out what happened yesterday. All right, so we opened up, pushed up. Looks like the market was going to recover, and then the market came down here and it was like bouncing around here, and then it was like moving in this area, and then finally broke lower and closed lower. Right, didn't take out the previous day's high lows, but closed lower. Right, and so now we opened up in the overnight here. We basically only has this much long to this much short activity, but look where we're at now. We're at the midpoint. Oh, and today I didn't even make sure it's quad witching or triple witching day today. A lot of money rolling off the books today with monthly expiries, indexes, futures, okay, and stocks. So that's a lot of money coming off the table, and that could cause a change come Monday. Okay, so we're back at the midpoint of the overnight session. We are gapping down. Now we have 59.32 is gap fill. Okay, that is gap fill. We're in supply right now. Okay, so the job of the market is to bring value from 61.30 down here, right? That's the job of the markets. Now, in this chart, there is a previous monthly high at 59.25 that we're underneath right here. Okay, and we're gapping lower. Now, if you know gap rules, number one is a gap and go. That would be the most bearish. You just push and push down, right? Number two is you push back up, you fail to fill the gap, and you go down, right? Number three is you fill the gap and then roll over, right? Now, what's not the most, sellers don't have the most strength is if you fill the gap and start going into yesterday's range, okay? That's gap rules, okay? Now, if we want to look at some key levels here, I'm just trying to see from my vantage point, right? First level I would say is 59.05. That's the 50% retracement of this move down. We're right there. We are right there. Okay. Very interesting. Now you had the most volume traded right around 59.40 in the overnight, and then boom. Okay, so there's definitely some buyers down there pushed up to the half point, right? So looking at this, we know we're about the 50 the net short part here, which are about 80% net short. That fade off there is not really there now. We're at the mid session. Not saying you can't go higher, but that's important. Okay, that's important. Now you just this is a big supply zone right here that you're coming into, right? And this is an old gap that's not fully filled yet. You don't fill gaps in pre-market in the overnight session. Okay. Now the big level to really look at is this 58. This is my composite high volume node here at 58.33 right here, this box. And there's demand right underneath it. If we go down, I don't see us breaching that. I see us tagging that. Okay. And why is that, right? Let's look at that. Let's look at that on this chart right here. All right. Now, how you tell that? We just left, right up here, right? 61.32. Notice this high volume node right here. See that spike? We left there, and markets move from high volume node to high volume node, right? Because look what happened. We moved there, and look at this high volume node. We stopped there. You see that? And now the next one is this big one right here. That is your 58.33. So if we move lower, I expect us to stop here. Now, if you take that out, you got right here. This next one is, what is that? That's about 57.68. Okay. just how the market moves. It's always how it works. You stay in a range, you trend. You range or trend. Okay? So this could be a likely target, 58.33 right down. Okay? Very important. All right, moving back to our session. Okay? All right, so now let's look at the hourly chart. I just want to see there possibly could be demand here. So let's just do that. So let me switch over to an hourly chart. Give me a sec while I do that. So I want to make sure I have all the levels. Okay? And we'll do it together. And we're going to look at the hourly chart together. Okay? All right, so see how we went into the supply? We're wicking out of supply, right? But we did get this demand here. And I'm not sure. I'd like to see, let's start with a 4-hour. I don't think that will show us anything. No. Let's go to a 3-hour here. Just want to have levels, right? Okay. So, this bar went up here, it was there. That's a big level though. Maybe let's start with 2-hour. 2-hour. I'd rather have this candle here down here typically. Let's go to a 90-minute. It's a big demand zone, right? Let's see here. I might just use the 1-hour. Alright, for now, I think I'm going to use a 1-hour. So let's just grab a demand zone from here. And I'm going to have to move that. Apologies for this. I got to move this. If it doesn't move, we'll just do this and we'll bring it to here. What's today's date? The 20th, right? Yeah. Alright, we'll just slap a demand zone right there. Now we have that on our charts. I just wanted to make sure that I'm giving you guys the levels, okay? And just so you can see, too, okay, this level, 58.33 right here. See, I have it marked off. A big spike. I'm thinking if we go down, we hit that level, okay? Now let's move on to the NASDAQ real quick. And I think I'm just going to slap that there as well. Now the NASDAQ, interesting enough, just blew. It went into this demand. Look at that. It nipped at this demand and jumped off of it. It took out this supply zone. So we don't have that supply zone anymore. All right. And I'm going to put right there, right on the top of this demand zone, be a 1-hour. Okay. We'll just make it. All right. So now we got our level set. All right. Think we're good there. We can move back to the chart that we're going to find long and short trade scenarios here. All right, apologize for that. Now that we got our levels, I just want to make sure you guys have the levels. Okay. Okay. So what am I going to look at today? Right, this is the ES. So ES is in this big supply zone. Okay. And you got buyers from the lows here. All right. So basically what I want to see, we're at the midpoint, is what we do into this supply zone. It's really all it's about. You have a previous month's highs here. So, and you have that's lining up with the gap right in here. Okay, so interesting to see here. So number one, probably is to see if we gap fill here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for here. Now, trying to see what other levels because we're gapping down. That level is the gap fill, 59.32, and we know we got supply there. We have a supply here, and then we have demand here, and then we have that 58.33 level. So I'm going to go ahead and just go right into scenarios here. I don't want to waste any more time. We're going to go start off with the bear. Okay, so first thing is this supply, right? And we have an old gap there. And we have the previous month's highs here. All right. Want to see what we do in this area. Okay. That could just come in here, struggle, and then it rolls over, right? And then you can see if you can take out this demand zone here, take out the overnight lows, and then go to 58.33. And there's a demand right underneath it. Like I said, I think that would be very hard to big sell off, day of consolidation, and then a big gap down. I can't see too many people. I mean, I can't. Just people are going to see this as a target. So now, what's another scenario here? We can push right up, fill that gap right into this supply. Okay, and also roll over and do the same thing. Okay, that's what I'm looking for as far as the short side. Now, as far as the long side, okay, as far as the long side, we have our demand here, right? It's not a super strong one. Okay, it's not a super strong one. So, one or two things that can happen. Okay, you can come into supply, inverse it, come down into this demand zone, maybe even break those overnight lows and see if the market's not that weak. If it's not that weak, you could try to get through all this. I don't think that would be the easiest, but could be. Okay. Now the other scenario would be we push down and we keep going and we quickly get to 58.33 and nip this demand and you recover. That could possibly make you go push up. But the market here can't be that weak. If it's super weak, I have to really, really look into this. Now, you have to say, are we oversold? I don't really like those words, but big drop down, then a big gap down. Like I said, 58.33 is the level with this demand right here. I don't see us breaking that. Okay. Now, if I move it up here, there's a demand zone right at 58.27. Another high volume node down here around 57.68. Like I said, I don't see the market busting through that. Okay. Now, moving on. Moving on to the NASDAQ. Let's go to that NASDAQ and see how this looks here. Okay. Same thing, we're gapping down, so I'm not going to get into gap rules. But let's look what we did yesterday. The market opened here, pushed up a little bit. Okay. Then it failed right at last week's lows. Broke last week's lows right here. Broke those lows and then winded up pushing all the way down to the previous month's highs, right? Then the market found itself opening up, gapping down where to this demand zone, and we got bought up. Got bought up right here, and we're at the mid part. So not the greatest part of the overnight. You're at the 50% retracement of the overnight, okay? Now, in the last month, I can show here, this is probably an important price. So that is 21246, to say 21250 right here. That in the 24 hours is the most traded price of the month. This could be resistance for this market. Okay, this could be resistance for this market. Now, what do you have here as far as levels, right? Let's look at it together. Now gap fill is 213.56 about. Okay, right there, gap fill. We are still gapping down at the midpoint, right? Right at this key level. Okay, that level could act as a wall. Okay, now you do have demand here and demand here. So that's what we're looking at. Now, as far as the market, we are around. That's the only long activity to this much short activity, but we're up in the middle, so that's not really a player. Okay, that's not really a player. So now, if you look at the structure wise, you can kind of see here two sessions here that had like a weak low, and then we just took that out along with this. So all these lows were taken out with this gap down, right? So let's just get right into the game plan here. All right, so we'll just get into this game plan here. Oh, we're going to go to short scenarios first. Okay. Now, we have this supply zone here in that 21250 level. Okay. This doesn't encompass gap fill, but you have to really pay attention to this level. And we're at the midpoint. So if the market comes up here and struggles and comes through 21250, yeah, you're going to try to take out these overnight lows here at 221 at 210.07. Okay, there's a big demand zone here, so I'd be careful going lower, but if you take that out and you can hold on, who knows how low we can go. Okay, that's really the first one. Second one obviously is gap fill, and we could come right into remember, this area is an area that were all those lows, so you can come in here and also fail, and you'd have to go through this level and then you could roll over. Okay, that's what I see for the most probable short scenarios. Now, as far as the long scenarios, okay, now a couple things here. We have demand here and here. We know we already gapped down and bounced here, right? We have that 21250 key level here. That's stopping the market right now. Okay, so if you're a bull, what you want to see is us push above this level and start holding above it, fill that gap, and then you can start working your way into yesterday's session. Now you do have supply right here as well. You'd have to cut through that and then go up and see if you can tag the most traded price of yesterday. That level is around 21551. Okay, then there's a big supply there, so I don't know if you're going to be able to crush that, but the most traded price of the current month is 218. Okay, I'm not sure if that's in the cards. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Now, what's another long? We can come down into this demand, and if the market's not that weak, and bounce right into this demand and go right back up, and you want to see that 21250 level taken out, and you're going to go for 215 here. Now you do have demand lower here. Like I said, if this market pushes quick low and the market is not that weak, and we push down in here and we get some type of bounce, this could go right up to here, and that could be the new most traded price of the week. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in the market. Now, as far as the Nasdaq's levels, right, you saw I'm showing you guys, the levels in the ES before, right? So if we're talking Nasdaq, let's look at the levels real quick. All right, so notice, right? Notice this 217.94 is the most traded price of this month. So see how it lines up with this spike, right? So we push through that. Then we had this spike, right? This high volume node around 215. We're pushing away from that. Pushing away from that, right? The next level to watch is around 207.51, and this big one here at 204.75, roughly 205. That's a very high volume node here, and I expect that would have the market pause there. Okay, so that's the levels to look at and watch in Nasdaq. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I got back on the horse today. All right. Feels good to just like talk about the market and have my video. I didn't think I was gonna have the video, being that I had that episode and was in the hospital. But now I'm back. I'm good. Okay. We got our scenarios, and today could be tricky. Today's gonna be extra volatile. Extra volatile. So me, I'm gonna take my size down, which gives me wider stops, right? But you get more bang for your buck today. So if I even put a trade on, it's going to have less contracts, okay? Less contracts. And then try to get a nice big move. So we should have very nice moves today, okay? Now, that being said, right? It's triple witching, quad witching, whatever you want to call it. All right? Today it's very important. A lot of money's rolling off the books today. Okay, and usually a change happens in the market when that happens, like the next week. Okay, so just remember that. Now, another thing about today and what happens on these OPEX days, and now today's triple witching. All right, large gamma strikes tend to pin in the afternoon. Okay, large gamma strikes tend to pin in the afternoon. Okay, I'm gonna try to give you one right now. Apple 250, right? It's at 247 right now. I wouldn't be shocked if Apple closed at 250 today. Trying to see another one for you. Microsoft 440 level could be a player. That's away from that now, but think of Apple 250 right now. All right, so that's what happens. Large gamma strikes at the end tend to pin because the option makers and dealers are shorting long around those high gamma levels, and it tends to pin and makes the market not move a lot. So that could happen also for the SPX and SPY today on large gamma. Okay, just keep that in mind. Now for me, I will be out next week. I'm supposed to be going to Florida, but I don't know. My daughter's getting over the flu. Other family members have the flu, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't plan on trading next week. It shouldn't be the best environment to trade. Um, Probably be back after the New Year's. But if there's anything to note and I come back, I will come on. But other than that, everybody have a great holiday and New Year, and let's kill 2025 together. All right? Everybody have a great day, and I'll see everybody, like I said, probably after the New Year. All right? Take it easy, everybody.